a full week I watched at a black piece of steel and enjoyed it so much. Hello and welcome to Watch Max's Watch Videos. My name is Axel and I'm glad to have you on the show again. I have a 1 week on the wrist video with my Laco Edition 96, which was on my wrist and pretty much delivered what I expected and enjoyed me more than I thought. How could this happen? I'm going to show you in this video. It's Monday 11:45 and I have a watch on my wrist, which is a real special one. I bought this watch back early in December, so I've been waiting for it for about 2 months and I really enjoy it. On my German channel I did an unboxing already, and while I was walking my dog with a slight rain cold, and I took some footage of that. It's a very interesting watch. I hope you can see it. The strap is slightly too long. I had to punch an extra hole. And I really look forward to the week with this black beast on my wrist. It's Tuesday, my day 2 of my 1 week on the wrist, and my Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. I choose this location here in order to show you one of the things which I noticed quite early, and that's the reflection of the front crystal. It is quite high and I have an idea why this could be the case, but I need to validate it over the week. It could be either due to the monochrome color design, or on the other hand it could be that the watch only has an AR coating on the inner side of the crystal, but I'm not quite sure about this. I need to validate it. And the second thing is the watch is absolutely great at night. I could read it all night. The hands, particularly the gray hand, could be read pretty well. It's not very bright but very long lasting, and I do like it a lot. And the appearance of a night was surprisingly big. It looks like an unknown flying object. It's quite big, and I'm surprised how different watches can look at night due to the design. I have an idea, but also this needs to be validated over the week. It's Tuesday night. We have about 20 minutes to 10 and my Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. I just took some footage for a quiz video in German, but that's I'm going to show you in a second. First, I would like to touch base on Laco, not as a watch but as a company. I ordered my Laco back in December and it was shipped last week. Some received the watch on Friday. I received it on Monday. Today we have Tuesday. Yesterday I did my unboxing video, and today Laco reacted since I mentioned in the unboxing video that the strap is too long. It's not the standard strap size. Maybe others have complained as well. And today they sent out a mail to all the owners of the Laco Edition 96 that if they receive the extra large strap, they should give them a notice, receive a standard strap and a strap change tool with no charge, and they don't have to send back the long strap. Absolutely great. I love that, and that's really a great service. Yeah, that's the setting I usually use to take the videos and the footage. The video lights I have to set up and all the other equipment. As you can see here, the camera, I don't know whether you can identify that. There's a control monitor besides the camera. On the iPad is rendering a quiz video and some other footage and some other stuff on the desk. That's my usual home office desk, so I have to invest about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes to set up my scene and to remove it before I can use my desk the normal and standard way. It's Wednesday morning, it's about 9:20 and the Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. I've read in some forums and received some direct messages that there is a certain level of disappointment that the watch is only limited to 96 pieces and they missed the release date. With regard to that, I can say over the next 3 years, Laco will release limited editions towards December, limited to 97, 98 and 99 pieces as a kind of countdown to their 100-year anniversary in 3 years' time. So have a look at their website, monitor their releases, and you probably will be able to order one of their limited releases in the coming years. The last two have been great, and this is absolutely gorgeous. With regards to the Lume Power, in a forum, Laco commented directly about the Lume they use. There was a kind of confusion regarding what they wrote on their website, what they confirmed in their mails. They use C1 and not C3, which is not as bright in the very first moment, but according to my perception is pretty long lasting. And they used C1 because C1 is hard white in daylight conditions, while C3 has a yellowish greenish tone, which would not have supported the monochrome appearance of that watch. The C1 Lume I can read at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning with a sufficient brightness for my eyes, and that's what's important for me. I actually don't like a Lume which is torch-like in the first 10 minutes but doesn't last very long. I prefer Lume which is readable for a long time at a sufficient level, and that's given here, so I'm completely happy with that. And the comfort on the wrist is pretty fine too, but I'll come to that in detail over the week. It's Wednesday evening, day 3 of my 1 week on the wrist, and my Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. Today I was involved quite a lot with that watch, and I took the footage of the watch to prepare the review video. And when I do this, it looks a bit like this. I do everything on my iPad, and here you can see some of the footage I took. It's the program Lume Fusion I use to do the editing and cut of my videos, and the cut will be done tomorrow. Today I just took the footage, very interesting. And while I took the footage, I saw a unusual light reflection on the case, which you only see if you have a very detailed, closer look under special light conditions. So I shared that footage already with you in the 1 week on the wrist. You may have seen that in the review already, but I think it's worth to share it twice. Today I was in the office. It was not very interesting, not many colleagues in the office due to the COVID restrictions. However, I needed to be there because my employer decided to move departments around during the COVID time, so I needed to pack all my things so they can move it around and I can unpack it when I'm back. It's Thursday, day 4 of my 1 week on the wrist. We have about 1:20. And my Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. Despite the size, I think it's a 43mm watch, it is comparatively comfortable on my wrist. No, it's not. It is comfortable on my wrist, which partially may be caused by the fact that I gained a lot of weight over the last months. But I think even if and my wrist grow accordingly a little bit. But I think even with a wrist size of 17 centimeter or slightly below, it will still be pretty comfortable. Lug to lug we have 50, 50.1, 50.2 millimeters, somewhat around that. And that's exactly my limit. So it's gonna be comfortable and small enough in quotation marks, even with a smaller wrist when I hopefully lose some weight. Another fact, and that's what I need to show you again in the camera, the bezel, it's a ceramic bezel, is pretty small. So we have quite a big dial here, and that creates a really wide and big night view. I can read the watch easily overnight, and that is caused by the huge space the dial provides. I thought, I had a certain fear that the gray Lume, the gray appearance of the Lume on the minute hand would cause a weaker Lume at night. And actually that's the fact. The Lume is not as bright as on the hour hand, but it's bright enough that I can read it all night without glasses, and that's something I really, really do appreciate. The outer edge of the bezel is very, very grippy, not to say sharp. So that's not a watch I would wear under a long sleeve shirt, but that's something I know from my other Laco sports watch, so I haven't been surprised by that. That's the style and type of the watch. It's Thursday, about 9:45, day 4 of my 1 week on the wrist, and my Laco is still on my wrist. Today I spent most of my time in doing the 2 review videos, one in English, one in German, and I took very interesting footage of the watch. But I noticed, and you see some of the footage while I talk, I just use it as a B-roll over my talking. And what I noticed is black coated watches are a pain in the neck to clean. At least when you take close-up shots and close-up footage of the watch. From half a meter distance you don't see anything, but if you get close with the camera you see everything, and that is a pain in the neck to take footage. I cleaned it, I rubbed it, I did whatever I could do, but nothing really worked. The black coating is a pain in the neck to take footage. It's Friday morning, day 5 of my 1 week on the wrist, and the Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. Yeah, since I don't play around much with straps, because I think this particular strap is a perfect match for the watch, I can't show you so much footage of the watch, so I have to add another information. And if you ever have asked yourself, what do I as a watch maxi have for breakfast, here is the answer. I have a pretzel-like style piece of roll in the morning and a latte, and that's what I have every morning in my car, driving my dog to the play group where the dog is over the day playing with other dogs. Since unfortunately I don't have kids, my rhythm is possibly different from families which do have kids, which need a certain fixed rhythm. It's not very organized and it goes up and down and back and forth. So my usual breakfast is in the car on the working days. Over the weekend I have very, very comfortable and extended breakfast with my wife. Another point I'd like to share with you is yesterday arrived a really nice post to me. It's from Laco and they sent me the new shorter strap and a very nice strap change tool. Not the very cheap one, it's a nicer one, and I really appreciate that. And that makes the Laco brand for me even more valuable. It's Saturday, 12:15 in the night, so actually it's my Friday evening shot. And half of the day I thought, what could I show you which is interesting, and what could I tell you what I haven't told already. I don't change the strap since I think the strap is a perfect fit for the watch. It was raining all day, so I haven't been out for too long. You've seen my dog, so what could I tell about that watch? I love it, I like it, the Lume is great, the case is great, so what could I tell you? And then I noticed I've had the watch on my wrist 24/7, except the moments like this one where I have it in hands or took the review video, which means it was on my wrist when I was out walking the dog in rain. It was on my wrist when I took showers with that leather strap. And Laco claims the strap to be water resistant, and let's see how it looks from the back side after being on the wrist for several showers. And there is nothing which looks used or broken, or even if the strap has seen water, absolutely great. So from my point of view, I think the promise that the strap is 100% fine for water sounds reasonable for me. And let me show it to you a little bit more in close up. This is the outer side, and here we've got the inner side. It doesn't look at all hard or stiff or broken, and it's still very, very flexible, smooth and soft. So for me, I think it's really a strap which can be easily taken to showers, maybe even to bathing or swimming. Absolutely great, no concerns at all. It's Saturday, day 6 of my 1 week on the wrist. We have about 9:40 in the evening. This morning I didn't take a footage, I didn't take a shot because I really slept very long, and when I woke up, my wife brought me a coffee to the bed. We stayed in the bed, we watched a movie together. It was so great, the dog at our feet. I didn't have any idea of taking a video, taking footage. I just wanted to stay where I am. This afternoon I was on a longer walk with my dog, and on that walk I usually look for fatwood, and so I did today, and I want to share you my impressions of the fatwood. It was about 2:15 when I found a tree, and that's my loadout. It's a mechanic's gloves, it's my Muela Kodiak, which I decided to take with me that time, and that's a handy opinel folding saw with a 12 centimeter blade folded together, 20 centimeter, 12 centimeter blade. And if you see a root like this partially in the ground, absolutely great. You probably find some fatwood. My dog was with me, but she's not very interested when I do some woodwork. So I just did it and found really interesting pieces. One side note, if you go to the woods and look for fatwood and it is not your own wood, just take what you need. Don't take everything you find, take what you need and leave in the woods what you don't need. Which means I clean up the wood, the fatwood in the woods, leave all the parts I don't want to carry with me at home in the woods. And I usually only take what I need for a week for my open fire in the flat or for my barbecue. Not more than that. I have the wood right in front of the door, so I can go out and look for a small piece nearly any time. So I recommend don't take everything you find, just take what you need. And here is what I found today. As you can see from the opinel folding saw and the Muela, there is some resin on the blades. If you go for fatwoods, you probably have signs of the resin on your tool, so I need to clean it up with some oil when I'm back. My mechanic's gloves, and that's the bag I usually use for fatwood. Let's see if I can do it with one hand, the other has the camera. 3 pieces, and I'm really happy. I found really great pieces, really red and really full of resin. That's a bigger piece, which I have to split down to smaller, which I need. And the longer ones, I have to cut at least in half or maybe into 3 pieces. That's absolutely fine and totally sufficient to set fire to my indoor fireplace or my barbecue. Yeah, that's what I did, and my recommendation really is just take what you need, leave in the woods what's not yours and what you don't need. That's how the woods can grow and can deliver these kind of fatwoods over a long time. It's Sunday, the last day of my 1 week on the wrist, and my Laco Edition 96 is still on my wrist. During the week, I received a couple of questions which came in after I published my review video of the Laco Edition 96, some of which I would like to address now on the last day of my 1 week on the wrist video. One question was about the accuracy, and For that, I would like to refer to my certificate, and here we have measured by Laco +6 seconds a day. On my wrist, the watch runs with +4, which is pretty fine for me. I'm not going to change it or have the watch open for that. So +4 on my wrist, +6 in theory, perfectly fine for me. Another question was, what kind of coating does the watch have? Is it PVD, is it DLC, or any other treatment? I don't know. The documents which came with the watch don't tell this. Laco doesn't tell it on their website, so I have no clue how the watch is coated. And a last question was about the documentation, and this is the most interesting piece. That's the certificate of the Laco. It's a big piece of card box, as you can see, and on the inner side we have certificate of authenticity, we have the tech specs, and we have a watch specific test certificate. Perfectly fine. It's a big piece, it's thick, but with the watch limited to 96 pieces, I think you can have a nicer piece of paperwork. Yeah, that has been my 1 week on the wrist. Just leave a comment if you like the watch, if you have it, if you like my video in particular, if you like the format in particular, and if you might like to see other watches in a 1 week format, which I did not buy on my own. If yes, I would need to find some people who would lend me their watches for a 1 week. And you have seen I put them on my wrist when I walk the dog, when I play with the dog, when I take showers, when I go out to the woods, when I look for fatwood. So I really use the watches in my daily life. And if you want to take the risk and want to see your watch in a 1 week video, just ping me and I think we find a way to realize it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your watches. Stay safe. Until then, cheers, Axel.